All right, so we're now talking a US Open 2019 with Craig Edwards there at Edwards Tips _. Let's bring him on, see which long shot bets he's going for this time around. Hello, Craig, how are you doing?
Good evening, Natalie. I'm doing good, thank you. I've got a real long shot for you this week.
Oh, well, I've got a few. So Flash messaged me. He's like, when are you doing golf? And I said today, and he was like, oh, I've got some ones that I want, he wants to run by you. So I'm going to ask you a few questions of my own, and then I will bring up dear Flash's up as well. So the first one, obviously, is Rory McIlroy. Can he maintain his form from Toronto?
No reason why he could not retain his form. Don't believe that Pebble Beach will be right up his street with fast running fairways. But he has won on links courses in Britain, as you know, in the British Open. So no reason whatsoever. I mean, I think he's come in 4 points from the weekend. I think he was 14 or so and now down to 10. I'm just going to swerve him this week, but he is a confidence player, and when he has his tail up, if he wins tournaments, he tends to win them easy. So Tiger at his best probably won a few more close tournaments, but he also won them easy like Rory. But he does have the ability to blow the field away, Rory does. So you would never want to discount him this week.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Dustin Johnson is one of Flash's favourites. For those who are wondering who Flash is, on the Premier League Punters show, for you viewers, Flash and I have been doing videos for a long time, and he's quite good on his golf tips knowledge. He's actually interviewed Craig as well. They've done some videos together. So one of his plays is Dustin Johnson 8-1. Obviously, Dustin Johnson has a great record at Pebble Beach, but does he have the mental strength to win this?
I think the US Open is the major that's suited to him mainly because he hits the ball so long, so high, that with the fast running fairways, if he's striping it and keeping the ball in play, he then has an advantage into the greens. So it is his best chance. He has won at Pebble Beach twice in the AT&T Pro-Am, so we know he likes the venue. That's a big plus for Dustin this week. But mentally, he's a bit flaky, if you ask me. If you compare him with Brooks, Tiger and Rory McIlroy, he doesn't have their strike rate in the major tournaments. Yeah. I assume he went to play in Canada last week because he's attached to RBC, the sponsors, but I'm not convinced that'll be the greatest preparation for him. But in theory, he has everything in his favour. He's playing on one of his favourite courses in a USGA setup, which means it'll put a premium on hitting the fairways long and then controlling your irons into small greens. So I do think that he has the perfect game for this week.
Yeah, yeah. Were you surprised, though, to see him ahead of Brooks on the betting markets?
Yeah, without doubt. He's ahead of Brooks. He seems to be every week at the moment, but Brooks is more likely to win if he gets anywhere around contention than Dustin. That's just a fact. I mean, the current strike rates of the players would bear that out. So if you're looking for, I mean, Dustin will probably finish in the top 10. He's probably nailed on. But you put them playing head to head together, you'd have to fancy Brooks.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking as well. Now, obviously, Phil Mickelson. Pebble Beach looks a good course for him. Is this his chance to win the US Open?
Well, it's one of the anomalies in sport that he's never won one. 6 times a runner-up. I love Phil Mickelson. I love watching him play. I remember him losing one to Retief Goosen many years ago when he missed a short putt at the last. And he's got the game. 49, I don't quite know if he's got the nerve anymore for a major, although he's still winning on the main tour, and he will be prepared. I think he's won the Pebble Beach Pro-Am more than any other player in the field this week, so we know he likes the course, and 6 runner-up finishes tell you he likes the US Open GA setups for the courses. So again, like Dustin, he has the game to win the tournament. He definitely has the game.
Now, one that does have the games is Tiger Woods. But will we see the Tiger Woods that won the Masters or the one that flopped at the PGA Championship? Which Tiger Woods is turning up?
I think it's very integral to Tiger Woods to have a good start in tournaments these days. I think if he's not sort of in contention, he's liable to just probably not give his best. He's thinking of his back all the time. I would say if he gets in contention, we'll see the best of Tiger Woods. And he won at Pebble Beach in the year 2000, 15-shot victory at 12 under par, which was remarkable scoring for the US Open. To win by 15 shots, or was it 12 shots, was absolutely ridiculous. He slaughtered the field. And yeah, I mean, if Tiger Woods was left head-to-head with Justin Johnson in the last round, you'd want to be on Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
And probably, in truth, they're all looking over the shoulder if they play with him in the last round. But yeah, I think he should be well prepared. And if he makes a good start, he will have a chance. The top of the market is very strong this week. All them 4 players have great chances.
Yeah. Would you put your money on Tiger Woods?
If you had to pin me down for one player out of the 4, I would probably go for Tiger Woods because he's a slightly bigger price. I personally would. I'd swerve the whole 4 of them. Although I think if they may win, if you back all 4, you're still only making sort of 2 to 1 your money. So, yeah, if you, I prefer the next one in the betting after Tiger Woods. I prefer Jordan Spieth, and he's up to 22 to 1 now. Found form for the first time in months. He loves the limelight. He loves to be in contention, and his game isn't quite back there how he wants to be, but. You know, if you put him in contention, I'd still favour Justin Spieth over Dustin Johnson for argument's sake. And you know, he's a winner through and through. He's won the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. His US Open form, he has won once, but the rest of it's been a little bit sketchy, to be fair. And so I would just bracket him with them first 4 this time around, with him starting to play a bit better. Definitely, he's a winner through and through.
All right, interesting. Now, I'm going to run through flashes here because you told me to mention them to you. So I suppose out of the ones, you can either say if there's any clear no's or which ones you like. So we've got, he says, mention Jason Day, 28 to 1, Adam Scott, 30 to 1, Dustin Johnson, 8 to 1, Stenson, Watson, Bradley.
Right, so Adam Scott, he's got the perfect game for any major. He hits the ball long and he hits the ball high. But one major over his career is a paltry return. He's getting older, so although I fancy him for the top 10, I can't see him winning. Jason Day has all the weapons for Pebble Beach, plays well in the Pro-Am, plays well at US Opens. Just never quite know these days with him. Again, he's a little bit in and out with his injuries, but he has a perfect chance, pretty much like Phil Mickelson. He has good US Open form, good Pebble Beach form, and yeah, that wouldn't surprise me one little bit. You mentioned Bubba Watson, did you?
I did.
Yeah, I won't be having Bubba this week, and he just never really hit it off with the US Open, and
you like Bubba Watson, don't you?
I love Bubba Watson.
Yeah.
Next week, I think it's next week at the Travellers Championship, I'll be all over him. So I'll be happy for him to just have a under the par week this week, just be in steady form, and then we'll hop in and back him next week at a bigger price with any luck. Who else did you mention, Natalie?
So Watson, Bradley.
Aaron Baddeley. Yeah, he's an interesting Australian. He's got bits and pieces of Pebble Beach form. He was quite a winner in his younger career, and he is having a consistent season. You may find there might be value in backing Aaron Baddeley in the top rest of the world at about 45 to 1. That would be my idea of a value bet, would be to have Aaron Baddeley in a limited field. The top rest of the world looks quite a weak market, and I like him and Eric Van Rooyen in that market. The principals, the Australians are a bit out of form, so if you like Aaron Baddeley, maybe have a tickle in that market, and he doesn't have to win the tournament to have a 45-1 winner. So.
Yeah. We've got Jay Wills says, any leans on golfers to miss the cut?
It's a good one, that. Any leans on golfers to miss the cut? Hey. Right, well, in general, Bubba would be the first one I'd be thinking of to miss the cut. Definitely, because he's that sort of player. Although probably one of the principals we've mentioned will miss the cut, I wouldn't want to lean on them too heavily. They all have pretty good chances this week. I'd prefer to go down the market a bit, maybe to someone like Bubba.
If you had to have gun to head though of the four, like gun to head, you had to say something, because these are leans obviously, so you're not giving like, you know, what are your, like, just a thought if you had to.
Well, if I had to, it would be Rory McIlroy. So if you pin me down, it'd be Rory, because that's the kind of season he's having. He's played really well at times in Canada last week and in the Players' Championship. But I guess Rory's only interested in winning, and if he tends to have a bad few holes any time in the first or second round, he may not even want to bother with the weekend sometimes. So years ago, there used to be some really good bets about for people to miss the cut. Phil Mickelson used to come over to the British Open every year until he got to grips with it, and you could oppose him. But the principals have very strong chances this week, and if the USGA course is set up tough, it will suit them. It will exaggerate their ability.
Shane says Sergio Garcia to miss the cut as per last major.
Very good point. That's a very good one, because Sergio now has gone 7 missed cuts, I believe. I think it was 6 before the PGA. He's now gone these last 7 missed cuts in major championships, which is an amazing stat. If you'd have started out betting that accumulator, could you imagine how much it'd be worth now? So you would have thought you'd had more chance of winning the lottery than Sergio missing 7 cuts on the trot in majors, but that's what he's done, and that is a very good idea. You know, what price is he to miss the cut, Sergio?
Not sure. Shane, what price is he to miss the cut? Maybe he will come back on that one. All right, so you like Bubba Watson, and you agree there with Sergio Garcia?
Yeah, definitely. That I won't put anyone off Sergio Garcia to miss the cut. Anyway, he's in some kind of odd mental trap, I think, at the moment.
All right, so which brings us to, what are you betting on the US Open? Where's your money going?
Jordan Spieth at the top of the market, I like. And just for a sporting each way bet, if he gets a start, I think he'll be in the top 10. And then, of course, me being me, I'm going down the list. And I started backing Shane Lowry, an Irishman, a few weeks ago. And Dustin Johnson's US Open, Shane Lowry was the 54-hole leader. He's quite an oddball Irishman, but he's very capable of winning, very capable of going toe-to-toe, and we know he likes US Opens. Last week in Canada, he played well, and earlier in the season, he won on the European Tour, so I like him. Jimmy Walker has been really in quite a slump since winning the PGA Championship a few years ago. He's been suffering from Lyme's disease, which is quite debilitating to anybody, let alone the sportsman. And there's just signs that he's coming into form. He's a bit of a Pebble Beach specialist. Only has one good US Open performance in the past, but he's only played 5 times, which really shocked me. So 150-1, Jimmy Walker. The player I really like, though, is he was opened the week at 1,000-1, and it's Chan Kim off the Japanese tour. He's a Korean American. Yes, who you say? He's at the British Open in 2017. I had bets on him to be in the top 10, top 20. He won the previous week in Japan, and he finished 11th in the British Open in 2017. Back home in Japan, he plays all the tough courses well and the links courses. He is their longest hitter effectively, and he had an injury right through 2018, couldn't play, and he's had to ease his way back in. And the last 2 weeks in Japan, he's finished in the top 4. Last Sunday, he shot a 60 on a course that doesn't suit him. So he's got to fly over the Pacific, which probably isn't ideal. Didn't get there till Tuesday, but I started backing him at 1,000 to 1. I think he's down to 500s now, each way 10 places.
Yeah.
And periodically in major championships, there are the strangest upsets, and sometimes they come from the complete outsiders. And the reason for that is, if Brooks Koepka, for argument's sake, was left with Brandt Snedeker down the stretch, he'd be in his comfort zone. He'd beat him off. He'd beat Matt Kuchar, plays him every week. Stick him next to an unknown who's hitting the ball as far as him, enjoying it, freewheeling. Suddenly the pressure right at the end of a tournament will go on the favourite. And Tiger Woods at his very best. He never lost to these immediate pursuers like Mickelson, Sergio Garcia, who used to beat him time in, time out. When he did lose, he lost to Rich Beem, Y.E. Yang, people like that, people who were 1,000 to 1 outsiders, because I suppose it just came in his rear mirror and Tiger didn't know what to do. And so it's a long shot. But I do think if Chan Kim gets a start, you may have a top 10 finish. And he has the length. He's an extraordinary character and player. He really is. And, I think his 11th in the British Open does bear testament to that. And he hasn't played that much golf since because of injury. So, I've just had £1 each way, $1 each way, 1,000 to 1. And, happy days.
Happy days, yes. Okay, very quickly. So Sergio Garcia, what made the cut is plus 175, which in your decimal odds is 2.75, fractional 7 to 4.
That's good.
All right,
good.
There we go. And final, very, very quickly, because the boys are waiting in the wings. Do we see a US or Euro winner? With decent dry weather forecast, Europeans may do well. But you're pointing more towards US, weren't you?
Well, I'm going towards US, but I have quite a sneak in that the Irish have a little hand playing this week. They've got Graham McDowell, the last winner at Pebble Beach. They've got Shane Lowry and they've got Rory McIlroy. And I think they've got the strongest little hand.
So national, okay, interesting stuff. All right, Craig Edwards, a pleasure once again to talk to you at EdwardsTips_. Give him a follow. We'll speak again soon, and all his articles are up on oddsmarket.com. Go check them out. Thank you, Craig. Until next time.
Thank you, Natalie. Have a good night.